Breaking news tonight, the Partnership for a New American Economy recently chose Fargo as one of the 20 cities that was awarded the Gateways for Growth Award. It's based on Fargo's welcoming attitudes towards immigrants and new Americans. Good evening and welcome to 630 Point of View. I'm Chris Berg. Thanks so much for joining us. Now, before I get into Fargo being selected as a Gateways for Growth Award winner, I want to share with you some of the polling we did late last year here at Valley News Live, asking you, the people of Cass and Clay County, how you felt about refugee resettlement right here in our community. Now, when we asked you, do you support or oppose the continued resettlement of refugees in the Fargo-Moorhead area, 28% of you said you support it, 57% said you oppose it, and 15% of you were still undecided. Now, for those of you that actually oppose continued refugee resettlement here in our community, we also, what's the primary reason that you oppose refugee resettlement here? The number one reason that you said is that you opposed continued refugee resettlement in our community because you said, hey, not in my backyard, they should go somewhere else. So when you see that 57% of the people in our community polled said they opposed continued refugee resettlement, 43% of those said, hey, this is not the right place for them in our community, not in our backyard, basically. You can imagine my surprise when I found out that Fargo, along with 19 other cities, half of them, by the way, being sanctuary cities, if you know that term, was chosen by the Partnership for a New American Economy, whatever that's supposed to mean. I'll talk more about that organization here in just a moment. But as a winner of this grant program called the Gateway for Growth Award, Fargo won this based on our quote-unquote welcoming attitude towards immigrants and new Americans. Now, the grant is primarily used for educating, wait till you hear this, primarily used for educating you and I, the public, on the merits of expanded immigration, which will lead me back to who is the Partnership for a New American Economy. This is a group which is headed by Michael Bloomberg, Rupert Murdoch, Steve Ballmer, Bob Iger from Disney. Remember the old Disney company just recently that was asking the American employees that employed to train cheaper foreign labor so the American could essentially train themselves out of a job? Yeah, that Disney. These are the bigwigs that want basically open borders for cheap labor to make their shareholders happy with bigger returns. Also a member of the Partnership for the New American Economy is Grand Forks Mayor Michael Brown. Now, I spoke with Mayor Brown's community and government relations person earlier today. His name is Peter Haga. He said he was not exactly sure why Brown is a member of this organization, and he assumed it had to do with dealing with immigration and workforce issues, saying that, hey, Grand Forks is doing any and everything it can to bring in new workers to help fill the lack of workforce. Again, many people would say that's just basically cheap labor. Now, the Partnership for a New American Economy also partners with an organization called Welcoming America, which, oh, by the way, is partially funded by none other than, we can bring him up here, this guy, hopefully we're going to show you in a moment, George Soros. If you're not familiar with Mr. Soros, please Google him. He is a big proponent of open borders. Now, many people who are critics of Welcoming America and this new Partnership for a New American Economy are coming out and warning people about an all-out propaganda campaign really focused on the 20 cities that won this Gateways for Growth Award and/or grant, which, as I just mentioned, Fargo is one of those 20 cities. Now, some are saying this campaign will include elected leaders, such as possibly Mayor Brown from Grand Forks. Now, I bring all this up tonight because starting tomorrow, Lutheran Social Services of North Dakota is hosting its second Building Bridges conference titled New Americans Building Bridges 2016. This year's theme is Hope Renewed, a Chance to Thrive. I'm going to give you an idea of a couple of things that are on the agenda tomorrow and Thursday, just to give you an idea of what this conference is all about. By the way, Valley News Live team Bradford Eric will be covering this conference for you. We'll have more about this entire conference tomorrow night here on the show and obviously in our newscast. Now, tomorrow morning, kicking off the event, this year's keynote speaker is Larry Bartlett. Mr. Bartlett is the Director of Refugee Admissions for the U.S. State Department. He's going to be speaking on how do we build bridges. Then Jessica Thomason, the CEO of Lutheran Social Services of North Dakota, as well as city leaders from Fargo, West Fargo, Bismarck, and Grand Forks. They're going to be as well. They're going to be talking about changing demographics, diversity, a new normal. Another talk is going to be about refugee resettlement 101, and obviously much, much more. You can check the agenda online at lssnd.org. Quick note here, Christy Ulrich, she's with Lutheran Social Services. She called me last week to have the CEO, Jessica Thomason, on my morning show, North Dakota Today. Unfortunately, we didn't have any availability on that show. So I asked Christy, hey, can you help me out here? Can you get Mr. Bartlett and Jessica Thomason on POV tonight? Unfortunately, after I made that request, I never heard back from Christy. In her defense, maybe she'll get us some guests for POV for tomorrow or possibly Thursday to talk more in detail about this conference and what's going on with this new partnership for an American economy. Now, I wanted to share all this with you so that you're aware of what's happening in our community. You can be informed about what exactly is going on. I want to encourage you to go check out this event. It's at the Holiday Inn tomorrow and Thursday. Also, I want to let you know I tried to reach out to this associated with the Gateway for Growth Award, this new partnership for American economy. I've not heard back from anyone at this point about that. So, look, I don't know if this Building Bridges Conference and this partnership for New American Economy are tied together or not. I can't prove it at this point. All I'm saying is be aware of what these big open borders corporations want. And if you look at President Barack Obama's, obviously, refugee strategy for our nation, there's some interesting things coming down the pipeline. I'm going to keep it at that for now. Again, we'll have more on this tomorrow night and throughout the week.